Hello, happy Tuesday. We're back, we're live, and let's see who's here with us today. If you are here and you can see me and hear me okay, please let me know in the comments. Uh, Say hello and let us know where you're all joining us from. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I double check on Facebook. We're streaming into three places today: YouTube and two Facebook pages and the Facebook group. So let me make sure I share into the Facebook group. Ta-da! That was what I was supposed to hook up. Let me see here. Share. Let me switch. Oh, I see Susan is here. Hi, Susan. How is the weather in Canada? And Zaza. Oh, it's cold now in Scotland. We're having a wind warning here in Southern California. There's like a red flag alert, so I had to look it up. What is a red flag alert? Internet connection is not fast enough, it says. Let me know if it's lagging, because then I'll turn one of the streams off. And Kim's joining us from South Dakota on Facebook. See? Ta-da! And oops, something is shaking here. I think I'm getting too excited. Here we go. And Hamlet's joining us from Denmark. Yes. And Sonia. Hello, Sonia. And Happy's here. Woohoo! Lunch break? Let's see here. So I see we're on Facebook. Very nice. And we're on Facebook here too. Let's see. It's streaming. All right. Awesome. Things are working. Like it. I like it. Let's see. Let me share that to the EPP collective. Share it to the group. And let's see here. Hello, we're live. Please join us on YouTube. If you'd like to participate in the CP, like, did I spell that right in the comments? Or just go ahead and comment here and I'll be checking it. Let's see. Okay, so we're posting everywhere. Let's see. Is it still lagging? I'm just gonna check if I need to turn it off somewhere to bump up our speed. Let's see here. I think we're good. Let's see. Susan said, "Oh, it turned cold here in Canada." Janet, hello. Let's see. It's rainy and a little cold where Sonia is. And okay, we're coming up live. I love it. And Rhonda is joining us from South Carolina. Hi, Rhonda. And we have, let's see, Sine. Is that how you pronounce it? Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. From Houston. Oh, and Happy's taking a late lunch. Oh, well, I'm glad you're joining us for your lunch break. Deborah, long time no see. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Hope you're doing okay. I hope everything's all right. You're staying busy. And let's see here. And we have a hand pink waving from Happy. I love it. Let's see. Okay, Elaine's joining us. Hello, Elaine. Hope everyone's doing well. All right. So I don't see any comments. Let me see. I don't think anyone's commenting inside the Facebook group. In case they do, I'll just let them know that we're hanging out here on YouTube. If you want to participate in the conversation, which Facebook page were you joining me from? Now that is a question. See? Yeah, it's everything's lagging. Alright. As long as it doesn't lag on YouTube, we're okay. And Julie's joining us. Hi, Julie. And Rhonda says, "Hi, Elise. Glad to see you're feeling better." Yes, doing much better. Yes. My voice is working. I love it. Yes, Susan. I hung it up because I was like, I need to remind myself to work on it. So it's partially. Ooh, let me flip my computer a little bit. There you go. See, it's a work in progress. Uh, Slow progress is progress, right? better than no progress. And now it's on my wall to remind me, like, hello, are you gonna work on me today? So I have it right there. Marilyn's joining us from Washington. Hello, Marilyn. So glad you're here. And let's see, did I see Lucy? Mm, eh, eh. Wait, did someone say Lucy? Susan said Lucy. Uh, uh. Dun 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 dun. Diddy-diddy-did. I did not see Lucy. If Lucy's here, hello, Lucy. I don't see you in the comments. Is Lucy here? Dun, dun, dun. Let's see here. Okay, I'm trying to scroll up through the comments. Well, if Lucy joins us, hello, ahead of time. All right. So we are at, if you haven't noticed, the EPP collective on Facebook. We passed 46,000 members. And I noticed that we have a lot of new beginners, those checking out EPP, those EPP curious, wondering what it is. They might have had a friend do something, most likely hexagons, and now they're kind of curious. So they scroll on Facebook, and lo and behold, they join our group. And I see lots of beginner questions. So I thought we could just go over the basics of EPP, especially I think like the primary question a lot of people have is thread usage. Should I glue based, thread based, and what kind of thread should I use, and what kind of needles, right? So I thought we could go over those really quick today. And I know a lot of experienced EPPers are here in the comments, and everyone has a preference, right? So there's primary thing. If you're new, you're watching this, hello. There's no right or wrong. Needle basting, I mean, thread basting. How do you needle baste? Thread basting or glue basting, right? It's either way. And we want to pursue a hobby that you enjoy. So try both, see which one you like. Neither way is right or wrong. It's the way that you prefer to do it. And some shapes you might prefer to glue paste, and some shapes you might prefer to thread based, right? So it's good to know both methods, and that's the only way you can really compare. Do I like doing this EPP this way, or do I like doing EPP that ways? So if there's ever anyone that tells you, oh, you have to do this or that way, no. Big red flag. No, we do not accept that. We want you to experiment with different methods and see what you prefer. Same with the type of stitches that you take too, right? There's whip stitching, what's the other stitch? Flat back stitch. What else do we have? Ladder stitch. Lots of different ways that you can sew EPP pieces together. It's no longer hand pieced English paper piecing. Once you start to machine piece them, then it's just machine pieced. But if you want to give it a go, then I'm all for it. But remember, if you're trying to machine piece English paper piecing pieces, you would have to take the paper out first, or you're going to have a heck of a time trying to remove the papers after they've been sewn together with like a zigzag stitch or blind stitch. Ew, I would not enjoy that part. So for EPP, you want to maintain hand piecing. That's what EPP is all about, English paper piecing. Very, very different from FPP, foundation paper piecing. But if you come into the group because you just don't know and you decide to share a FPP project or a quilting project, we're not gonna, like, oh, shame on you. No, 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 no. You're more than welcome to do so. Because in the beginning, you don't know what you don't know, right? So no worries. If you shared something that was not English paper piecing, absolutely fine. And then when you do have an English paper piecing project, you're more than welcome to share that too. All right, so let's see here. Right, Elaine? I haven't seen Lucy yet. Yes. He sounds so much better. I know, right? I was sounding like a raspy. I don't know. Kind of like, what is it? The Marge Simpson voice? When is it Marge Simpson's sister that has like croaky, smoky, like smoker's voice? Like that's how I was sounding. That's the like closest thing I could think of, and it was not feeling good. So I was like, oh no, let's not talk, or well, avoid trying to talk. Let's see here. And Clara is joining us from Rome, Italy. Buongiorno. Welcome, welcome. Yes, just like Julie said, no quilt police here. I think it's a hobby, right? It's unless you're trying to go for a prize at a exhibit or something, then you might be a little more particular about following the rules, or being more what's a nice way to put it? uh well, following the cool police's rules. If there's some type of show that you want your quilt to be at, right? Then you obviously would have to follow their rules. If they say no to glue-based English paper piecing projects, then by all means thread-based. But other than that, like, it's a hobby and it's something that you should enjoy. So please don't listen to the naysayers or those little too opinionated for their own good. Experiment with both, okay? We welcome experimenting. And before you try, you won't know which way you like better. I started thread basting. And when I found out glue basting, it was like, whoa! It's like all the angels were singing. I was like, oh my God, what is this magic? And the fact that I could glue paste just with like a school glue stick, this is an Elmer's washable school glue stick, that made things even more fun. Because I had a heck of a time trying to find the glue pen. Do I have one here? No, okay. Like a glue pen like this was very, very hard to find when I first started English paper piecing, because I did not live close to a quilt shop, but I lived close to a Joann's and Michael's, and or like a stationery store like Home Office Depot, even Target, Walmart. Everyone carries regular old school glue sticks, right? So easy to find, hard to find. And when you want to try something, like you want all the supplies right there and then, right? So this was a godsend. Let's see here. Uh and Happy says, "Hey everyone, so good to see you on the live. Yeah, it's so fun to see everyone here. I've missed you all. Let's see here. Kathy's joining us. Hello, hello, Kathy. Long time no see either. Love it, Sonia. Hello, Linda. Let's see here. Yes. And Sasa says, life is too short to get your knickers in a twist because someone else starts it a different way, right? Yeah. Everyone's gonna have their preferred way, and then if you're a beginner, unless you try it, you won't know what your preferred way is. So I think the biggest hurdle for a beginner is hearing like, oh, you have to do it X or Y way, right? No, try every way. And I always say, learn the rules and then start breaking them, because you start finding there's little ways that you can tweak something that makes something more enjoyable for you. Then I say, go for it. As long as your pieces hold together and then it just doesn't like fall apart, why not, right? Let's see here. And Hannah says, well said, Sasa. And Susan says, you're right, Sasa. Yes. Let's see. Let's see. Did I miss something? Let me scroll up the comments here. Yes. And so Elaine says, I've tried both basting methods and it depends on your liking. Exactly. Yeah. And unless you try both methods, you won't know which one you prefer. So all for experimenting and having fun. And yeah, it's gonna be a little messy in the beginning. Even thread basting, I was like, what am I doing? I don't even know. Is this the right way? Is this the wrong way? Are my papers supposed to fall out? Are they gonna fall out? Is it okay if they fall out? And same with glue basting. Like, am I using too much glue, too little glue? What am I doing? And then unless you try and then you kind of get the feel for it, you start building muscle memory as you're basting your pieces and sewing your pieces together. And then that's how it works out, right? So it's like even when we tell kids they learn something new, we're very forgiving with kids. So we need to be more forgiving with ourselves too as adults when we're trying a new hobby or some type of new technique. In the beginning, it might not look all that great, but the more you try, the better you get, right? Let's see here. Let's see. Let me just make sure I peek over Facebook so I don't miss out on our friends over there. I'm gonna refresh. Refresh. Let's see. And then I disappeared. Oh no, there I am. Okay. Let me like my own post so I can find it. Let's see here. Oh, so Kim Rody is joining us from Facebook, and she said, I'm still working on grandmother's flower garden. How do I manage the large size when adding more rows? I have a piece that is 6 rows long and 12 flowers wide. Is it okay to make several chunks and then sew all the chunks together so I don't have to always be handling the entire piece? I'm hoping to get a bed-sized quilt eventually. Yes, Kim. Oh, well, now it's popping up here. I can share. Doink. I read that whole thing. So I'm going to share Kim's comment here. And I know we have a lot of experienced EPPers here in the group, in the chat here on YouTube as well. And you will find that, yes, chunking up is the way to go. Because I would not want you to be dragging that whole project with you from room to room or place to place if you're carrying your EPP projects with you as you go about your day from room to room, right? Or even when you're out and about running errands. Because, who wants to sit in a car waiting forever if you could be EPPing something? So, definitely, yes, chunks is fine. As long as you just know where each of those chunks go, then that's totally okay too. So, if you have a design wall, well, mine it's not really a design wall. It's like, let me slap something up on my wall. If you have a design wall, that might be helpful for you too. You can just put a piece of quilt batting, tape it up to your wall, and start putting your chunks up there, so you can kind of see where each piece goes, and then work on them in segments, right? So that way it'll make it easier as you're putting those together. So definitely, yeah, grandmother's flower garden must be gorgeous. Can't wait to see. Yeah, it's a 12. Let me share that again. So it is 6 rows long and 12 flowers wide. Yeah. Uh, uh, uh. Yes. And then do remember that if you're wanting to make it more manageable to work with as well, you can start removing the papers that are surrounded by other papers. By that I mean I can show this. So if you see this, see how the center hexagon is surrounded by the 6 petal papers as well. So I could technically remove the center paper, the hexagon, and the petals too, because they're surrounded by the edge paper pieces here, right? So that will make your project a little more malleable to work with, so it's not super stiff with all the blocks lining up, and makes it easier, and you can reuse the papers too if you need to. Let's see. Yes, and so like Susan says, that's what I'm doing with mine. It's 6 by 6, so sewing 4 squares. Yes, definitely break it up in chunks. Absolutely fine. Katrine, hello. So glad you're here, and I can't wait to see your project, Kim. Your grandma's flower garden. Hope you keep on sharing progress photos with us. Let's see here. Let me go to the other group. Ta-da. And Kim, if you have a coloring page too, that's a nice way to keep track of things as well. If you don't have a big design wall, or you're just taping stuff up to a wall like I do. Whatever works. Let's see here. Lots of questions. Let me switch camera so I have some of my stuff out here so we can explain to our beginner EPPers. I think this is the right one. Yes. Ta-da! So main question that we're getting a lot of lately in the EPP groups here are paper choices, right? So you can use the papers that you get in mailers. Just be careful that if they have lots of print on them and your papers for some reason happen to get damp or wet, that print from the ink from the paper might transfer to your fabric, so you might have color running, right? So that's the only time you want to be careful. And if you're in a humid climate, that's also sometimes where you might kind of reconsider using papers with print on them, because you don't want them to transfer to your fabric, right? And then we also have just regular cardstock. I don't like to use plastic templates in mine because they are not as flexible or bendable as paper cardstock. The reason I like cardstock templates for EPP is like I can just fold it if I need to. And you'll see this one has multiple folds in the center. Let me hold that up. Because as I work on each piece, I'll just fold it. Because you want to make the paper work instead of your hands trying to hold it really weird like this claw grip just to try to get in an angle, because then you're going to end up with crampy hands, and we don't want that, because then you can't EPP for maybe a few hours, a day, or God forbid for a week or more, right? So always bend your paper templates, fold them if you need as you're sewing your shapes together, And you can grab this. Even sewing a hexagon flower, I like to start with all my petals sewn to the center hexagon. And then as I sew the side seams together between the hexagons, I'm just going to fold my paper like this and just make it really easy for me to keep on sewing the side seams between the two hexagons. So I don't need to try to keep the cardstock pristine. That is not the goal of EPP. And then as I go around, I'm just going to keep on folding this. And this is like the one of the main reasons I like paper templates over plastic templates that are also popular and reusable. I personally am not a fan. And paper templates like this, cardstock, it's cheap, yeah, not inexpensive, and you can keep on reusing these as well. Even when they look all, folded and really, really sad, you can just give them a good press and then they turn flat and they're reusable multiple times, depending on how heavily you bend or crease them, or if you don't prefer creases, then you can use them 5, 6, 7 times. Totally done. Let's see here. Quilty Nana just got here. Hello, Terry. Thank you for sharing your name, Quilty Nana. Let's see here. Let's see. And and Julie says working on last row of scrappy quilt number 3. Julie is like the queen of many, many, many projects. So if you want to keep up with her, don't try. But yeah, she has lots of projects. Yes, and you should come join us inside our school community if you want to see all the fun that she's having. So paper templates is what we prefer, and try to avoid the ones with prints, especially if you're in a humid climate or you think they might get wet, because you would not want the transfer from the printed cardstock to get on the fabric, because that will make you really, really sad. And I know of quite a few of our members have had that happen, so they learn from experience. So why go through the pain when we already know what our fellow members have shared and what a pain it was having to remove those pieces, right? So try to stick to white cardstock. Even the children's what is the children's cardstock that are colored and they're slightly fuzzier. They're not quite as smooth as cardstock for like making cards and stuff. They might transfer too, especially if you're glue basting. If you're thread basting, you might be okay with the children's cardstock, but again, try to avoid the ones with color because those tend to bleed quite easily as well. Colored children's cardstock, the inexpensive kind. Let's see here. Bye, Eileen. Bye, Sasa. So let's see here. So cardstock is what we recommend, and let me grab a piece of my cardstock so you can see. How thick it is. Here, so these are some hexagons that I reused. So it's not super stiff, but it has enough resistance that it makes it easy to get your crisp edges or sides so that when you're sewing your pieces together, they look really, really crisp and neat, right? So we use this cardstock, and the one I like to use most is called, no, I forgot. You can find it in most office supply stores. It's a cardstock. I think it'll share which one it is I use. Oh yeah, Astro Bright cardstock. You can find it in Target, Walmart, and also at what's it called? Amazon. Super easy to find. And I just buy the white one, and easily findable. You can find it very easily, and you can even use for making cards too if you don't want to use it just for your EPP templates. And if you have a cutting machine like a Cricut or Silhouette, those cardstock papers come in really handy too because you can use them to cut many, 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 many EPP templates just in minutes, as long as you have a SVG file, right? So cardstock is what we recommend, and try to stick to just white if you can. If you only have mailers that have print on them, just be careful that your pieces do not get wet so that the ink won't transfer onto your fabric pieces. All right, let's see. I keep on looking over at Facebook too, just so I can make sure we catch all our friends in there as well. Okay. All right. And then we also have acrylic templates. So acrylic templates come in multiple versions, but the main thing you want to take into consideration is acrylic templates with the seam allowance. So they have the seam allowance added here, as you can see. So this is a hexagon. I just put a little washi tape just so that I could find this easily. And you see that the 1-inch hexagon paper fits perfectly inside the inside line markings. And then you have the seam allowance added to the edge, so that when you go to trace it onto fabric, you get the seam allowance added, so you can just wrap it around your paper pieces. Now, 1/4-inch seam allowance is my favorite, but there's also 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Let me show you here. So these just have the paper protective paper covering on them, and you can see the difference in seam allowance right here. So 1/4-inch on my right, the clear one that I removed the papers, and the one with the papers on protective papers, that one has 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So you can see the difference right here. 1/4 and 3/8. So this again is a matter of personal preference, which type of seam allowance you like, 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch. So there's no wrong way or right way here either. It's just your preference. For majority of my pieces, I like to work with smaller pieces, so I always go with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Otherwise, you're gonna end up having to trim a lot if you're working with smaller pieces. And then if my pieces become bigger, then I don't mind switching to 3/8 of an eighth seam allowance at times. So again, I'll switch between the two depending on the size of the piece that I'm working with. Let's see. See, yes, and Julie says, newbies, don't use colored papers. Will bleed onto lighter fabrics. I know Julie had to deal with like lots of little pieces of, it was white on white, right, too? And then she had to remove them. She tried to, what did you use to try to remove the colors that were bleeding onto your fabric? Were you able to remove any of the colors at all, or was it kind of like lost cause? And then we also have another option, not always available, but they're called window templates, or does anyone call them I Spy templates? I don't think so. Window templates. So these are window templates with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And you know, because it's a thicker seam allowance than the 1/4 inch right here, right? So these are window templates. It's when they don't have a center. It's just cut out. So it's like a window frame. Okay? So you have window templates with different seam allowances, 1/4 or 3/8, or just full size templates here with the center still attached, with 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Majority of the time, I like to use the ones that have the plastic all the way, so that I can use plastic erasable markers to mark something if I need to fussy cut. Then I can just draw on the plastic template and line it up with the fabric on the repeat where I want to fussy cut something to get a secondary motif when I sew my pieces together. Let's see. So I hope I'm not going too fast. And if you're watching the replay and you have questions, you can add those under the comments, and I'll try to come back and answer anything there too. All right. So, and for needles, everyone has a preference when it comes to needles, right? And again, please experiment with needles. So for majority of my EPP, I like to use longer, skinnier needles, and these have a long, narrow eye, and they're called milliners needles. Does it say milliners? Yeah, it's right here under the plastic. See, it's milliners size 11. Does not have to be this brand. There's John James, this one Richard Hemming and Sons, and I think, what is the other French brand? I think they have size 11 milliners too. And it's the Japanese brand too. So there's lots of different brands. So it's the type of needle, milliners, and size 11. That's my favorite because see how long and skinny they are. And the eye is very, very, very small. try to make you focus like so. And then my second choice too is the Clover black gold needles. They're applique sharps. And I started with getting a variety pack like this in size 9 through 12, just so that I could play with the different sizes, see which one I liked. And I came to the conclusion that I like size 10. So now I just buy the multi pack for the size that I prefer to use. I don't need to use the multi pack anymore. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and Susan says, me too, have to start over on one of my quilts, only use white cardstock now. Yeah, it's gonna save you a lot of grief if you for some reason your any of your EPP pieces happen to get damp or get a little moist, get water splashed on them, then yeah, white cardstock will not discolor your fabric, but if it's colored or has print, oh, yeah, it might leave something on your fabric that you will not be happy with. Oh my gosh, yes, Julie, Bohin. Couldn't remember their name. Let's see here. Oh, and Happy used to use freezer paper templates. I use mostly cardstock now. I did try freezer templates and I was like, I do not feel the paper. So I need something thicker. So you can absolutely give freezer paper even or just even regular copy paper a try too. If you like it, keep on using it. But if you want to feel a little more resistance, because imagine this being copy paper or freezer paper, it's not going to be quite this stiff, right? So you're not going to feel the edges as much. So try it. And if you like that better, yeah, go for it. But I tried it and I do enjoy having the guidance from the cardstock to kind of hold up the shape better so that I don't have to guess my way. Because, yeah, I tried it. It did not look pretty. So these are my two favorite needle choices. Again, if you're living close to a quilt shop, I'm sure they would have both or either or something similar. And then if you're close not close to a quilt shop, then try Amazon too. So I'll just hold these up so you can get a screenshot or write the names down so you can give these a try. Or if you go to elise.live/Amazon, that's my Amazon storefront where I save all my favorites. You can find those there too. I think that's the right link. And thread choice. If you have thread like me that's been sitting around for like decades, not the best thread to sew your pieces together with. But if you're a thread baster, I say use up all that old thread because it's not gonna matter anyways. But when you're sewing your pieces together, try to use thread that has not been exposed to sun for a length of time, that has not been sitting in a cupboard for like decades, because it's more than likely going to be decayed by age or fragile. It'll start snapping apart. You can try it and see if you like it, but I would stay away from older threads when sewing your pieces together. If you're thread basting instead of glue basting, use up all those old threads. That's totally fine. I like to use up older threads that have been sitting in my thread box for longer than I can remember. And those are okay for thread basting because I prefer to remove my thread basted threads. Some people like to leave them in. Then if you're using lighter fabric and you're thread basting, you might want to take that into consideration when you're thread basting so that the color of the thread that you're basting with doesn't go through to the front once the paper is removed. Let's see here. Yes, and Marilyn says, what a great idea using a marker on the template to mark for placement. Fuzzy cut heaven. Yes, it makes it so much easier. So you could even trace something, a design on your on the fabric on the template here, and then just keep on lining it up. It just makes life easier when you're trying to fuzzy cut. Okay, let's see. And Julie used color remover from store or Synthropol. Synthropol? Is that what it's called? So if you happen to get discoloration on your fabric from your paper pieces that happen to be colored or with print, that's this is what Julie tried. A color remover from the store. Let's see. Uh, oh, and Julie says, don't put glue-pasted hexes in sealed plastic containers till they are good and dry. Oh, you had that mold experience, didn't you? Yes, yes. So if you're in a humid environment, let your glue dry completely and let your pieces breathe so that they don't get any mold from the glue. That was so weird too. I wonder if that's common, Julie. Yeah. Let's see here. All right. So thread choices. You can use cotton or polyester. It's your preference. I have polyester. Zoop. Let me bring my threads here. And then Orifil. This is Orifil 50 weight. It's 100% cotton. So if you prefer cotton in all your projects, cotton fabric, cotton thread, Orifil is a really nice choice. I know Gutermann has cotton thread too, but majority of the Gutermann thread that I've used, it's always been polyester or polyester mix. But it's really nice thread too. Used very heavily in garment making because it's stronger because of the polyester. And Julie says, yes, mold. Ugh. Yeah. Ooh, that was so weird when you got those molded EPP projects. And my favorite to use besides just white 50 weight cotton, I'm going to make sure I keep that, or all-purpose Gutermann thread is the 60 weight superior threads bottom line thread. I'm gonna make sure the camera is focusing there. So this is the thread I probably use 99% of the time, and it's just the natural white. It says natural white. It's number 624. So if I can, I try to get this big honking cones of thread because that way I'll never run out of thread. And then I also have this neutral colored one. It's a taupe, I think. What are you called? Oh, it's oatmeal. Oatmeal or taupe? Let's see here. Rarely use this one, but I got it to try it on darker fabrics. And if you don't want the white to show through, yeah, then definitely use a neutral colored thread like this one. But I notice I use mostly lighter color fabrics. But once in a while, I'll use a dark black. Like one of the hold on, let me go grab it real quick. 1 second. Like for this one, for the EPP club, I had this black fabric, and when I tried it with the white thread, I didn't like how I saw the little white thread marks. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try a dark thread. So I tried the 50 weight black thread, and I found it to be a little too thick with the way the black showed up on the pink. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to get a small spool of dark 60 weight Spirit Threads bottom line thread. Couldn't find black to ship fast enough because, we wanted it yesterday when we want to experiment on a project, right? So I got this color number 649, which is a dark, dark, dark gray. So it's very, very similar to black. I honestly can't really tell the difference. So I'll hold it up towards the black here so you can see. So here's the thread in case you lost track. And it's against black fabric. So it's a dark gray. So I think it's actually this dark gray we might get away with using on like grayish fabrics too, and the black won't show quite as much as dark black thread. But honestly, if someone told me this was black thread, I would be like, okay, I trust you. And let me show you here with the 50 weight and the 60 weight, the difference. See how different in the thread weight. So it's thicker and thinner. So I really like the thinner one. And the stitches don't show up quite as much, especially when you got two contrasting fabrics that's lighter and darker like this one. Like so. And if you don't want to get the big honking spools, this is the smaller variation. So you don't get the cone, you can just get the smaller spool. But it's the same thread. And what am I missing? Da-da-da. Am I missing anything? Oh, and then if you don't like to iron in between your projects, we have seam rollers. That's what I want to cover too. So these have been popular with foundation paper pieces where you roll this over your seam to flatten it. You can also finger press, but after a while, fingertips are gonna get sore. So you might just want to press it over like this, and you don't need to keep a hot iron next to you. And then I could start to remove the center papers here, right? Because I don't need to keep them all in. And this way, rolling over the seams will keep the folds nice and crisp. And then I found this super fun face massager at Dollar Tree of all places. I was like, it looks like a seam roller. So it's meant for massaging your face, but it works really great for just rolling over your seams here too. So another alternative, if you don't want to get the wooden seam roller and you want a multi-purpose tool for massaging your face one day and then washing it off and pressing your seams. Let's see here. And then we had questions about removing the papers. Lots of people like to use cuticle removers, those wooden sticks that have a sharp angle on one end. I really I tried this one and I got hooked. I used to have a silhouette tool that looks similar to a cuticle remover. Then I saw this on Amazon. I was like, gotta give that a try. And it's actually an awl, but it does not have a sharp end. See, it has a little ballpoint end. So it looks like a ballpoint pen almost at the tip. So it's not sharp like a regular awl. And this one, it just, because I keep my nails really short, and if you have long nails, might be helpful. But so this one is so thin and fine, it just slides right under. Did you see that? And like it makes it so much easier to remove your papers. You don't have to be like, let me come in here and try to get under with your nail. Just slide that through. Release the fabric from the paper. Come back here and just slide that under. And because it's so thin and long, but not sharp where it'll poke through your fabric. Well, I mean, if you go too hard, you could still poke through it. But because it has that ballpoint end where it's not sharp, it's actually very nice. And you don't have to be, too cautious about dropping on your foot either. And then we just pop the paper out. Release. Pop. Like so. So that was a glue basted paper. This one's been sitting here for a few weeks now. Oh, almost a month. And then the paper just pops out, no problem. And all glue basted with Elmer's. So if you hear that, if you baste with washable school glue stick, your papers won't be removable or they'll be stuck. Not true. If you use too much, it'll be hard, yes, but you'll find that nice balance where it's just enough where your fabric stays put to your paper, and then you learn from experience. Let's see here. Sonia, hello! Work. Ugh. We're glad you made it. So this is my new favorite tool for removing paper pieces that have been glue pasted. And let's see, scissors. We'll talk scissors. You want nice and sharp scissors. So I've been using these. Got quite hooked. I used to prefer Fisker's spring-loaded scissors. So if you have arthritis in your hands or you have cramp in your fingers and you don't want to use scissors too much, the spring-loaded scissors from Fiskars, they're really, really nice. So you don't have to work on pushing down and opening because it has a spring. So all you have to do is just squish it, squish cut. Whereas these Karen K Buckley scissors, they're really nice too. You have to do that open and close motion with your hand muscles, right? I like these though because the opening and the handle, they're even on both sides. So I can just put all my whole hand through here and it gives me a lot of stability versus scissors like these. Like these are used for paper. Only my thumb and 2 fingers will go through here. I could squeeze 3, I suppose. But the carrot cake gives you really nice leverage. You can just put your whole hand through here and cut. But these, please be careful. You don't drop them on your foot because they will pierce your foot and it hurts like a burr because you see how sharp it is. And these have a serrated edge. I can't even say the word. So it actually grips your fabric as you're cutting it. So if you're using thinner, like slinkier fabric, kind of like Liberty of London or any type of lawn, right? Silk, rayon, chiffon, then these scissors are really nice because they actually grip like the little teeth, the serrated teeth. They just grip onto the fabric and you get really, really nice crisp cut. So these I like to use after I trace my templates onto fabric with my heat erasable marker. Friction or any other off-brand is fine because it's only going to go in the seam allowance. And then I like to cut up my fabric pieces with the scissors. And these little snips are really nice to have handy too, just for trimming your threads. And these are also from Karen K. Buckley. But you don't need to have something as sharp as this. These are very, very sharp too. I think you learn from experience to keep the covers on because you don't want the scissors to slide by mistake and fall on your feet, right? Let's see here. Those are scissors. And what else were people asking about? Trying to remember. So it was mainly glue basting and thread basting. I think that was the main issue. The threads to use and the needles. And if you're having a where did my needle? I know I had like everything prepared. If you're having a hard time threading your needles, try the Clover needle threader. It's a desktop one. They come in different colors. I know a lot of the members and the Facebook group have shared it too. So those come in super duper handy. And let's see here. Oh, and we talked about glue. So the Fountain Porter is just one variation of the glue pen. There's the Soul Line. I mean, yes, is it? Yeah, Soul Line ones, and these are refills for the Soul Line. Same refill will fit in all the pens that are these shape. I think they're all from the same manufacturer that just branded for different companies. So Soul Line one is the same shape. So is Sue Daly's, and there's quite a lot of craft glue pens uh uh for like paper crafters, right? Same size refill. So whatever refill you can find is it's gonna fit in any of these pens that have the same shape. And the Fountain Porter, actually, this one I found at Joann's. Soul Line, I've never seen it at Joann's, but I've only seen it at quilt shops and on Amazon. So you can buy the pencil, the case here at Joann's, and then you can grab the refills when they have a nice sale on Amazon. If you're not close to a quilt shop, of course. Let's see here. Let me check Facebook real quick. Let's see here. I think we got it. Yay. So if you're just kind of watching in the Facebook group and you're like, yeah, kind of hesitant, I don't know, should I try it? Should I not? Is it like too much of a hassle? All you really need is a glue stick, sewing needles. You can even start. Give me one more second. Now, if you've never sewn or you don't have any in your family, anybody in your family that sews, just go ahead and grab one of these little sewing kits, mending kits. It has needles, thread, and a little tinky scissor, and a needle threader too. Just so that you can get started. You don't need to go and invest a whole lot just to try. And then you can start with one of these. And then you, of course, need a little glue stick to try. And some paper pieces and fabric to give it a shot. See if you like it. And I would always recommend starting with hexagon. It's very, very forgiving. You don't have to worry about little tails like you see here on this piece sticking out. The hexagon is super forgiving, as you can see here. and it's super fun to make. And the hexagon flowers come together real quick. I know, is Kelly here? Kelly hosted a hexagon flower swap, and I think all the participants are mailing out their hexagon flowers. They look like this. And let me switch here. And these come together real quick. And these are my pile of hexagon flowers. And you can make these with all the fabrics in your stash. Have fun with it. So I made multiples of some. And trying to make one from each of the fabrics in my stash, just so I have one hexagon flower from each of the fabrics I've collected over the years. And they're super fun to make. And you just need 7 hexagons to start with, like this. And if you need the digital download, let me know in the messages in the comments below, and I can send you a link so you can download some hexagon templates to print and cut and experiment and see if you like EPP. Yeah. So you don't need a whole lot to start. Like I said, like a little kit, has needle, some thread that you can base with, or try a glue stick, glue basting, and so that you can experiment and give it a go. And then if you have any questions you want to ask everyone in the either EPP Collective or EPP Society on school, and then we'll be right there to help you out. Let's see, anyone has any questions? See. Oh, happy goes. Wow. On my pile of hexagon flowers. And I've been like slacking off. I should be like making more, but I got lazy. So I have these that are sewn. Then I have a whole bunch that are basted and ready to go. There we go. And then have them in little rows of 6. And then a white hexagon. So I can just grab a little pile like this and start sewing them to the 6 of the colored ones to the center white hexagon. Ta-da! So it helps to be a little prepared so that you can just, anytime you want to just sit and sew a couple of hexagon flowers, they're just ready to go there for you. Let's see. And these are all 1 inch hexagons. And 1 inch, oh, I should have mentioned that. So if you happen to buy paper crafting hexagons, punches, you want to make sure that the sides here, they're 1 inch. That's how we know that it's a 1 inch hexagon. A 1 inch hexagon from tip to tip is double the length. So it's 2 inches from tip to tip and 1 inch sides. So a lot of the craft punch hexagons that you'll find on Amazon, they'll say that it's a 1 inch hexagon, but that means on Amazon for craft hexagons, when it says 1 inch, it's this that is 1 inch. And what you end up, it's 1/2 inch hexagon for EPP. So if it says it's a 1 inch hexagon on Amazon or any craft supply store for crafters or scrapbookers, those hexagon punches will say 1 inch, meaning the full width, and that it's 1/2 inch sides. So you want to make sure if you get a punch that it says that it's a 2 inch hexagon, because then you'll end up with 1 inch sides. Unless they started to fix it, this is like the main problem people find when they order a 1 inch hexagon and they end up with a punch that gives them 1/2 inch sides on their hexagons. So for 1 inch hexi, get the punch that says 2 inch, okay? If it's for craft bookers. The ones from Fiskars, the hand punch hexagons that are no longer being made, they used to give us the correct size, but right now you have to buy the little punch squeeze, not the squeeze punch, but the push down punch, and those are the ones that you want to look out for the size. So if you want one with 1 inch EPP hexagons, they're most likely going to be called a 2 inch hexagon punch on Amazon for scrapbooking purposes. And I think those were like the main points. And if I see anything else that stands out, I'll hop on and try to help you out. Let's see. Oh, Lucy is here! We thought you were on earlier, Lucy, and we're like, hey, Lucy. Oh, wait, she's not here. Well, I'm glad you made it till the end. Yay. Let's see. Ooh, so Julie said, I'm gonna post all my grandmother assorted flower stashes on school. Hooray! Oh, speaking of school, you're gonna want to join us sooner than later, because once I get my stuff in gear, we're switching things up a little bit in the school community, our EPP Society on School. So if you've been debating whether to join us or not, now is the time. Let me just share the link here so you have it. Oh, that's like right in my face. Oh. Let's see here. Oh, Lucy, Julie was just reminding you about the live. Well, I'm glad you made it. We miss you. Let's see. And Deborah, I know you're on school, but have you been able to log in or not? Yeah. School.com. Whoops, I can't spell today. So this is where you want to come and join us now, sooner than later, because I'm switching things up and making it a little more exciting. And Deborah, I would love to see you in there. I know you're in there already, but I wasn't sure if you haven't been able to log in. There's a school app. Just go to school.com. You can download the app or the app from the App Store, from either the Android or the Apple Store. App Store, you just download school, and it's much easier to log in too, because once you're logged in, it just stays open on your phone or computer. And on web browser on the computer, it's much easier to see a bigger screen too. If a little screen on the phone, is harder to see what the comments and read them. Let's see. We love school! Yay! Me too! Let's see. Happy Go. School is awesome! And we don't mean like school, but school. School with a K. So, yes, we love to see you all in there. Let's see here. And I'm so excited for our EPP club members too. This Thursday is the block of the month. I'm switching things up this month. So what I happened to do, I know Lucy's gonna appreciate this. So we had the Dilly Flower Bowl workshop like the past 2 weeks before last week, when I had to cancel the live because I was sick. But so I was going to do just bonus templates for like one size bowl each for the club members. But then I thought, the Dilly Flower Bowl is in 14 sizes, right? So why not make these in 14 sizes too? So Thursday, this is what's dropping for the EPP club members. And if you're interested in joining us there, let me know. So we have the officially named the Tulip Bowl. So it looks shaped like a tulip. So instead of just one size, giving all the EPP club members 14 sizes of this one, and it coordinates with the Dilly Flower Bowl. Really nice. So you could have a little flower pot and a base for your flower pot if you do matching or coordinating fabric, like so. There we go. And then because I can't just stick with one type, when you're at it, right? So then I know Lucy's not a fan of curved pieces. So considering taking all our non-curved piece fans, because both the Dilly Flower and the Tulip Bowl, they're curvy pieces, right? So we got one straight edge version too. And I was so creative in naming this just the EPP Bowl, because I couldn't think of anything else. So even with this one, it'll go really prettily with the Dilly Flower Bowl, like so. So you got a little set there. And then I think these will be really cute for gifts to give, even for stocking stuffers, or stuff it with something small, right? For Christmas or even Thanksgiving, for hostess or host for Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm loading up 14 sizes of the Tulip Bowl and the 14 sizes of the EPP Bowl for all the EPP club members on Thursday. So I'm working on that. And Rhonda says, "Ooh, love the Tulip Bowl. Hooray!" And Hane is liking it too. Ooh, Woo! Sonia likes it. Yes, bonus templates. So I think that'll be super fun. Let's see here. School is a comfy community setting. Yes, we're family. Love that. So I do not have a. Do I have a link? Hold on. I should share it here if anyone wants to join us in the EPP society. I mean, in the EPP club. Let me just go in here real quick so I can share the link. Let's see, EPP classroom. I have the link here, I believe. Maybe not. I might have to share it later. Or comment below if you're interested in joining the EPP club so that you get 14 sizes and 14 sizes of this. Ta-da! And they're going out on Thursday, so it'll be a limited time release. So I will share that link. And yes, Rhonda says Thursday's gonna be so fun. So pretty. Yay. So yeah, I look forward. Let's make all the little pretty bowls to gift our friends and family. I think it'll be super fun. And I can't wait to see the fabrics you're picking out. And I will share the link to join the EPP club shortly. So if you want to get these this month, join us inside there. And that is time is over. And I shall see you all next week. Same time, same place. Now that our daylight savings has settled, the dust has settled, right? It's still a little confusing time wise because, gosh, it's so dark at 5 o'clock. But I will see you all inside the school community, EPP Society on School, school.com/EPP. Join us there. And if you're waiting, if you want more information to join the EPP club, then let me know, and so that you can get these bold templates this month. All right. So I will see y'all next week, and I'll see you inside school.